Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the Kryptonite Insight X6 bicycle headlight. Although Kryptonite is best known for their wide selection of bike locks, they've recently introduced the Insight series of bike lights. What sets the Insight lights apart from others on the market is the fact they focused on beam optics rather than just raw output. And as a result of that, these actually carry a lux rating, something that's more common in Europe than the United States. We're going to be looking at the mid-level products. This is the X6 headlight. This is actually the set, which includes the XBR taillight. We're going to review that in a separate video. So for this video, we're going to focus on the headlight itself. Packaging-wise, it's really nice. You have black and yellow, bright graphics. The headlight and taillight are prominently displayed here. You can actually see the lens on the headlight, which is one of the best features. You have the nice infographic on why you want a beam optics over just raw power. Traditionally, you have a cone shaped the beam, which blinds oncoming traffic, whether it's pedestrians or other cyclists. So with this focused design, it really keeps the ground lit up rather than everything around you. I'll go ahead and take it out of the box and we'll go over the specs. This set retails for $99.95. You can also buy them individually. The headlight is $74.95, while the taillight is $39.95. And as I mentioned, we're going to focus on the headlight in the review. It has a dual aspheric lens, which is a spherical lens here, and on the inside it's specially formed to really focus the light down. That means you can't put the light upside down, it has to be right side up. It has a 60 lux rating, which is twice the power of the lower model X3, and that's measured at 10 meters away. It's USB chargeable, and it also has a runtime LCD display that's also backlit, so you actually know how much battery you have in real time. And with the X6, they've also included an ambient light sensor for a special smart mode that automatically adjusts to the environment. Now inside the box with the set, you get the headlight, you get the removable mount, you also get the XBR taillight with a little rubber strap to attach it to your seat post, USB cable for charging, and then two user manuals, one for the XBR taillight and one for the X6 headlight. So let's take a second to look at the weight of the headlight. So the headlight by itself comes in at 142 grams. And then if I add the handlebar mount, that brings it up to 160. Now let's go over the fit and finish of the X6 headlight. What really sets the headlight apart from others on the market is the dual aspheric lens, and this almost looks like a cat's eye. And it's very interesting, so you can see on the inside, that's the LEDs on here, and as I rotate the display, you can see that it actually curves it down and it distorts it, and that's why you call it dual aspheric lens, as the outside is spherical and the inside has a special form to focus the light. Now this is really similar to the X3 headlight, but has double the output and is larger because of that. Color-wise, they went with a 3-color scheme. You have black on top, gray on the sides with minimal Kryptonite branding on each side, and then this nice yellow accent ring that sets it apart. The profile goes from this round front lens to a square rear with the USB charging port here. And unfortunately, it's not a Type-C, it's just standard micro USB charging. The sides have these nice little cutouts, and you can see when I turn the light on, they actually work really well to illuminate the side, and it actually illuminates your handlebars as well. So it's a nice thing to run at night. And here you can see the other feature, the illuminated screen. And that's a really nice way to see the runtime. So it's hours and minutes, and depending on which mode you're on, it'll actually adjust. It's a single button interface, so long press to turn it on and off. It has mode memory, and there are 7 total modes here. And this is probably one of the more confusing aspects of this, is that it has 4 LED displays here that correspond to the 7 different modes. And this is where it gets a little bit tricky. So depending on which mode you're in, they either flash or illuminate. So you can see this is low mode, medium, high, and then you have the various flashing modes. What's also nice about this is in addition to the different flash modes, you have this auto mode. So you can see here, the top and bottom display. This uses an ambient light sensor inside the light and automatically adjusts the light. So it'll go from low, medium to high automatically. Now we found this to be not quite as useful as other lights with ambient light sensors. It typically just goes full high, as you see here, even in this brighter display. Unless you're in the full sun, it's almost always on high, so not as useful as it could be. The other really cool thing about this is obviously the beam pattern. So you can see with the aspheric lens, you get a very distinct pattern instead of the traditional cone. And that really focuses the light on the ground. So definitely nice to see. Mounting wise, unfortunately they didn't go with a Garmin or GoPro. They went with their own proprietary click design. Now there are no accessories currently available, so you do have to use their current mounts, but I believe they have a helmet mount and a rack option. Now the mount design is really simple, so you can see it has 2 slots here. And similar to a bike pedal, it has these little grooves. So to mount it, you simply put it in here on the rear first, and then click in place. To take the light off, you push this button and release it. Now it's really easy to get to the button when it's not on the bike. When it's on the bike, I'll show you that it's a little more difficult. And then to actually put it on the bike, it's pretty simple. So it's a ratchet design, so no tools needed. So you can see I can feed the cable through and then put this on the handlebar, and if I want to tighten it, I just pull back and then lock it in place with a lever. They also include a nice feature to allow you to rotate this. So you can see I can actually rotate this side to side and then tighten down the bolt to keep it in place. So definitely easy to use. But unfortunately, you can't use their out front mounts because of the incompatibility. Now let's take a look at the Insight X6 beam pattern. As you can see, it's a fairly narrow beam pattern with almost a U shape and a sharp beam cutoff. There's also a little brighter portion right at the cutoff, which helps with almost a dual beam design. Now if we cycle through the different modes, there's 7 of them. You have low, medium, and high. And even in high, you get up to 3 hours of runtime, which is pretty nice. And with the little LED display, you'll never get caught off guard when you run out of battery either. There are 3 different flash modes: the daytime pulse, which is really nice to have as it's gradual, a nighttime pulse, as well as a economic flash for the highest runtime. Note the auto mode always seems to defer to the high steady mode. Now when you're riding, the beam is fairly narrow. It's about a car lane width. But with the U-shaped design of the beam, you have light all the way from the front of your bike all the way to that sharper, brighter portion near the cutoff. Overall, it has a nice pattern to it, and instead of blinding other people, you can see most of the light is focused on the ground. We found ourselves mostly riding with the high mode, especially on darker trails, but if you're commuting and there's other ambient light, you can definitely get away with medium or even low. And that's compared to the X6, which is the 30 lux model version of this. With that one, we found you always had to use high. The nice thing with the X6 is with the 60 lux output, you can definitely get away with a lower setting and the higher runtime that comes with it. We also really like the nighttime flash as it gradually goes from a low setting to a high setting, which is less annoying when you're riding and helps draw attention to you. It's also worth noting that the LED lights and the backlit screen aren't too distracting when you're riding and provide good indicator of what mode you're in, as well as the remaining runtime. So now let's do a little comparison between the Kryptonite Insight lights and other lights on the market. What I have here is the X3, X6, and X8. What I really like about what Kryptonite has done is you can see both feature-wise and size-wise, they're really well differentiated. The X3 is 30 lux, a no mode indicator with the dual aspheric lens. The X6 is a larger version of that, double the power, and now you get the runtime display as well as a mode indicator. So as the price goes up, you get more quantifiable features. And then between the X6 and the X8 has the larger screen, different optics that are US only, a little more premium look that corresponds to the higher price, larger side window, and again, 80 lux versus the 60 for the X6, so quite a bit brighter. With the X8, you can definitely run it in a media mode pretty happily at nighttime, while the X3 and X6, I found myself usually in high mode all the time, especially on dark trails. For commuting, these are better options for commuting, while a more serious dark trail, dark road, I prefer the X8. Now mount-wise, the X8 and X3 and 6 all have the same style mount. The 6 and the 3 share the smaller one, while the X8 has this more wide version that corresponds to the larger size. Comparing that mount to, say, the Phoenix style cam design, you can see this simply drops in over and then tightens. Has a similar sliding mechanism with additional side-to-side play with that little screw you can loosen. I like the Kryptonite design a little bit better over that, as it's more compact, but it is harder to release. As you can see with the Phoenix, you have this large lever that sticks out. So a little bit give or take. What I really like are the Magic Shine lights. So these are the Alti 1000, and that's the Alti 2000. These actually have a Garmin compatible mount, so you don't have to use a proprietary mount. And you can see it puts out more power than the Insight Light series, but it has a basic beam shape. So you can see when you turn it on, it's just a cone. So it definitely blinds others on the road, but it does feel more premium too. It has the metal housing. They are a little bit more expensive. So what's great about the Insight lights is that they bring better beam optics at more affordable pricing. Now, if you compare the X8 versus the Alti 2000, you can see they also have a better screen on the Kryptonite, more information, larger read display, while the Alti 2000 just has a small mode indicator and battery status. I also like the side lights on the Kryptonite versus the simple beveled edges on the Magic Shine. There are also other lights on the market, like the Phoenix BC21R. This has a replaceable battery, which is a great feature, something you don't typically see. Same proprietary design, a little more compact form factor. You can see these lenses really take up a lot of space, so if you just go with a traditional lens, with a really basic vertical deflector, a lot more compact in size, and metal as well. Now let's go over the pros and cons for the Insight X6. What we liked about it are the advanced beam optics. It's great to see a beam cutoff, especially for a commuter bike ride. It means you're not going to be blinding people on the road, as well as other cyclists on bike trails. The backlit runtime display is also easy to read, and make sure you never run out of battery without having some notice. Also, we like the side slots on the housing, as they illuminate the handlebars and give you a little extra light when you're riding at night. Some of the cons are the proprietary mount for the headlamp. It'd be nice to see a GoPro or Garmin adapter that would allow you to use a out front mount instead of the supplied handlebar mount. It also has a confusing mode indicator design with the 4 LEDs indicating one of the 7 modes, so unless you read the manual, it's easy to forget what is what. Also, we found the auto mode was too sensitive. The ambient light sensor always put us in high mode, except in full sunlight, so unlike other lights we've reviewed, we found the auto mode not to be very useful. Taking everything into account, we'd give the Insight X6 an 8.8 out of 10. This really has focus optics in a small package, and it's great to see these types of lenses at the lower price point. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.